Alright, here we are. I cleaned up all the parts here. And I've got two washers, identical size, I'm going to use to shim this thing up. And, my God, it's imperative that you make sure that when you're doing this, things have got to be clean as a freaking whistle. You don't want not even a cat hair in here, because if it travels its way through and gets hung up in one of the spool valves in the valve body, or gets stuck in the governor, it can cause nightmarish problems. So I'm just trying to, I don't know, just beat it into everybody's heads, I guess. So, alright, I'm gonna grab the fourth piston here, wipe it off again. Alright, now the pin goes into the transmission this way, so if you want to take your new second piston, and I'll put one washer right here. Well, actually, no, this washer right here. Make sure it slides over the actual pin itself, which it does just fine. So we'll lay this here, and then that sets right on there, and that washer's just thick enough to shim that up so there's no more clicking in there. And then I'm going to set the pin on just to keep it aligned. And now I'm going to reinstall this snap ring, which will be fun with the camera. And you want to start one side end with your fingers and walk it around till you're about, I'd say, 70% in, and then you can take a screwdriver and just finish it off. And you'll know it's in when, it'll actually physically click in, and you can examine it, poke with the screwdriver, make sure it's seated in there all the way, which it is. And then it sits on the pin just like that, big end down towards the part that goes onto the band. And then with a little bit of transmission fluid, you want to lube up this area where the cone or cover, whatever you want to call it, cone area slides onto the piston like that. And then another washer. Well, I gotta find a different washer. But so far it's just assembled like this. Here's the part that goes in the band, that second piece with the big O-ring on it, the little Teflon seal right there, and then we're going to put another washer down on there underneath the spring, and then we'll put the factory spring back on, and then the E-clip, and that'll clean up a bunch of the slop we've got. So we'll find a suitable washer. We'll slide straight on down there. Then we'll set the spring on like that. Then the washer, the factory sized washer that sits on a little recess just under the groove for the E-clip, and then you just snap the E-clip on like that. And then the fourth piston, you want this nub sticking up like that. So when it's all back together, it looks just like that. And be sure the nub's out. I'm pretty sure when I took it apart, the nub was not out, which I'm not really sure why it was like that, but there you go. And when you go to put it back into the bore and the transmission, make sure that this spring is installed on this shaft. That's imperative. And Make sure you lube all the seal areas. Install it back in the trans. You may have to do a little bit of convincing. And then make sure the servo covers in all the way and reinstall the retaining ring.